How much did it cost me to build the Budget Rat Truck? How much? How much? Quick. Hey, how's it, jokes? Welcome back to my forest workshop. If you don't know me, my name is Diff. Like that thing in the back. Not Axel, he's a rock star. Differential, that first part of the word. So yeah, throughout the build there's been a bunch of videos and I've been referring to the Budget Rat Truck build. It's time we start looking at the costs. A few guys have also already asked me, so how much did it cost? The truck is basically finished now. In my previous video you've seen it driving, it drives well enough. Sure, there's always a few small things you can still do, but it's basically done. So let's look at the costs. So I live in South Africa and we buy things in rands, abbreviated to ZAR, or as my American friends would say, ZAR. And to give it some meaning and make it more relevant, I'm going to quote my prices in both rands and in US dollars. The exchange rate currently is $1 will buy 18 rands. That exchange rate changes all the time, depending on the air that comes out of the mouth of politicians. But for the sake of the exercise, let's use an exchange rate of $1 equals 18 South African rands. I found the Chevy cab lying in the field and I paid 3,000 rands for it, $167. Now, there was not a lot there. It was basically just a cab with the nose clip. There was no hood, no doors. The frame was still there, but apart from that, not much else. The doors I used came off a truck that was very badly burnt in a fire. They were basically beyond use and were destined to become scrap steel. They were donated to me by Sean Peterson from Street Truck Garage. Thanks again, brother. Yeah, I just used them and did the best I could. One of the reasons why there's no windows at the moment, because there's no mechanisms and there were no glass or nothing like that. Also quite a little bit distorted from all that heat, but good enough for what I wanted to do. This hood here also didn't cost me anything. It's a custom contraption that I made from scrap I had. The actual donor hood, if we can call it like that, comes from a 1955, I think, Commer Superpoise truck. It's not a brand or mark that many people would know. It was a British built truck and it actually just used to be wall decoration here by my shop, and I ended up customizing it and adapting it and making plans as I went along to end up with what we have here. The whole back end here did not cost me a lot either. These sections comes off of a 1970 somewhere Ford F-250 truck wreck. I was standing in my yard. The fenders come from a VW Beetle, front fenders actually. They were kindly given to me by Knowles from Crazy Customs. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, the rest of it is just bits of steel and quite a bit of sweat. So the headlights up front here came with those Beetle fenders, so they didn't cost me anything either. And yeah, so those Beetle headlights worked really well here. If you go through the playlist, there should be a video there, or no, there is a video there, about how I got them to work, and that turned out really great, I think. I paid 8,000 rands for my Nissan hardbody donor truck. At that exchange rate, that's 444 US dollars. I think I scored a real luck there, because although the body was completely rotted, rusted to pieces, mechanically she's great. I had to do very little to the engine, brakes were good, tires were still good. So I think that was quite a bargain. I'm not even sure what year model it is, I think somewhere late 80s. So yeah, very happy to have found my little Nissan hardbody. Just in case you're not familiar with the build, the frame, running gear, engine, gearbox, all the mechanics is stock standard Nissan hardbody. So no big roaring V8 sounds or flashy stuff, but she goes well enough, and I've got great fuel economy. I had to buy quite a bit of new steel for all the various fabrications and repairs, sheet metal, square tubing, flat bar, angle bar, etc., all the rest of it. That came in total to just over 5,000 rands, roughly $300 US. And it was used for stuff like new floors, the load bed frame, the bomber seats, building my custom gull wing hood, and a whole bunch of small things. There's a bunch of videos about it as well, so if you want to see more, go check out the Budget Rat Truck build playlist. Parts, electric fasteners, all that sort of small stuff came to just about 2,500 rands, $140 roughly. That includes, you know, all the small things like fuel hose, bolts and nuts, electrical connections, fuel filters, etc., etc. I wanted to fit some bigger wheels in the back, so I bought 2 used 15-inch rims for 700 rands, $39 to suit some rather crappy old 15-inch tires I had lying around here. They got a little bit of life left in them, so we'll run with them for now. The taillights and turn signals front and rear, courtesy of our friends in China. Well, I have my local auto parts store, total of 988 rands or $55 US. My performance parts, temp gauge, rev counter and the air horn came to $66. The 2 front windshields, my 2 quarter windows and a back window, also $66. So if I include the paints and solvents and adhesives that I bought specifically for the project, we come to a grand total of 23,000 South African rands or 1,279 US dollars. So we get a total cost of $1,279. But now you're going to say, hang on a minute, Duffy, you're bullshitting us. What about the price of your consumables and all the stuff you had on your shelf? Fair enough. Let's multiply it with 2. $2,558. We can even multiply it with 3 if you want to. You multiply my build cost with 3 and we get to a total of $3,837. Hey, so of course the cost will vary depending on where you are and how much you are prepared to scavenge. But I think you get my point. You don't need a bag full of dollars to build a really cool ride that attracts a lot of smiles and provides a lot of fun. I mean, my fun to dollar ratio or factor must be sky high. And in my previous video, there was this McLaren parked right next to this old rust bucket. I don't know what that thing costs, many hundreds of thousands of dollars. Apparently there's only 50 of them in the world, but this is one of a kind. And cost-wise, yes, what can I say? And guess who drew the most smiles and the most attention at that recent coffee and car meeting? Or car and coffee meet, I always get it the wrong way around. And here's another thing. I don't mind driving the hell out of this thing. If it breaks, it's cheap to fix. I don't mind if it gets scratched. It just adds character. It's meant to be driven. It's not a trailer queen. Buckets and no, not buckets. Shiploads of fun for very little money. I rest my case. Not everybody can afford a supercar like that McLaren, but with enough persistence, I believe anybody, as long as you put in some sweat, can build something like this that is completely one of a kind. And remember, very little money. You just got to be stingy.
And talking of stingy, I got the scrap metal dealers to come and collect all my junk here, so I don't know yet what kind of money I will be getting, but I could actually even subtract a figure from my build cost for the junk that I'm busy selling.
Enough rambling from my side. Now we're just going to get my wife to pick a name from all the different ones you guys suggested. And it looks to me like she's having trouble doing that. But when that's done, we can call the build done. Thanks for spending time with me out here in the shop. I enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a lekker one.